Hello, everybody, and welcome to 3 Words, a podcast about the simple and yet very strategic choices to becoming the best version of yourself. I am your host, Dr. Michael Brown, and as a business consultant, as a life coach, I have seen over and over and over again with my colleagues and my friends and my family and my clients that every moment matters, that each choice counts, and more can happen in 1 minute than an entire month for those who choose positive and powerful choices. I'm joined today here with Amy Seiffert, dear friend of many, many years. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, a part of our coaching team and our coaching community. And thanks for taking the trip to be here in Toledo, Ohio, as a part of this podcast.
My pleasure.
What are, Amy, the 3 words for today?
Be fully present.
Be fully present. And the reason why this is so important to me personally is because I'm only guaranteed this moment. I'm only guaranteed today. There's no promises of tomorrow. And so I really fully believe that this 3-word choice, if lived every single day, it has the power to transform your life, to be fully present, particularly when in the presence of human beings. I had a good friend of mine recently share with me that the only thing that lasts forever are human interactions. Now, I'm not sure, Amy, well, I do know for you, but I'm not sure what all of our listeners think about afterlife and eternity and so forth, but I know you and I tend to believe that life goes on beyond here. If that is true, the conversation even that we're having right now, the conversation that we're having with our listeners right now, it literally ripples into potentially millions and billions of years. So when I am fully present in the presence of a human being, those seconds, those moments, those minutes together, they literally make an impact on forever.
I love that. I think it really matters.
Yeah.
Like it just gives a scope for how much that matters and staying present. How is this for you? Is this hard for you? Is this easy for you?
Well, for me, it's very, very hard because I am so driven. You know me.
Right.
Our families know each other very well. I'm a type A personality. And so what I'm not speaking about is necessarily slowing down and not achieving my goals and having tons of things to do on any given day. I actually really like being busy, but I refuse to be hurried. See, what happens is when I'm hurried, my heart begins to race. And the reason my heart is beginning to race typically is because I'm worrying about the past, something that I wish I would have done yesterday or an hour ago or 2 weeks ago, or I am preoccupied with the future. But to be fully present in the moment means that I can be right here, right now, with you today. I
love that. Okay, so it's hard for me. I'm also busy. My calendar to the max.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. I love.
And we're parents, and we have children, and we have families, and we're married. And
we're going places,
yeah.
All the things. So a practice that I've been trying to implement because I'm going. And so to stay present even right now, I'm thinking about my grocery list. I'm thinking about my to-do and cross-cut, all the things. But how do I stay put? I've actually had to train my brain.
So it doesn't happen naturally.
No, not for me.
So listeners, be encouraged. It's not going to happen naturally. It's going to be a choice.
Yes. And even a practice, right? So I have been trying to practice, and it's been going pretty well. 5 minutes of stillness, because it counters the hurry that you're talking about. Stillness a day where I just sit there, I put my phone down, I try to be near nature or outside, and I just be. And I try to notice what's going on around me, look at my surroundings, not think about what's behind, what's ahead, and even kind of take a body scan and think, am I holding my breath right now? Am I holding on to anxiety, to stress? Just breathe out, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And the more I build that into my day, I find it bleeds over into the rest of my life. So to put that stillness for me kind of heals that hurry that you're just talking about.
And life is so short, and so why would I not want to be present in my present tense? Why do I want to be spending time in the past? Why would I want to be spending all my time in the future that even isn't guaranteed?
Right.
Why not be right here, right now?
Yes.
I see you take a breath.
Yes.
With you, my friend Amy Seiffert, and with those who are listening in to our conversation. And I think it's a real challenge for me, and I'm hearing this from my clients and colleagues on a regular basis, that they rarely are here.
Yep.
They are yesterday, I wish I would have, and I had this conversation, I'm wondering about it, I'm concerned about it, I regret this, or I'm just pushing so fast about who I want to become down the road without realizing that who I'm becoming right now is who I will ultimately become at the end of my life.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to wake up someday having become someone that I've not been becoming in the present. We talked a little about relationships as well. And I think a lot about relationships because I care so much about people and human encounters. And one of the things that I've been thinking about, Amy, is this idea that the most powerful, precious gift that I can give to another human being is to be fully present in their presence.
Yes.
Because typically, and I don't know if you feel this, where you're in a conversation, you can just tell they're not there.
Right.
This individual's not there. They're looking over my shoulder. If I see them in a networking event or I'm hanging out in the neighborhood at a block party and I'm having a conversation, and yet you can tell they're looking over my shoulder or they're not really listening to the words coming out of my mouth. And I'm totally guilty of this. Not always, I'm thinking about how am I going to respond without being fully present now. And I want to be, and it's so hard. And I'm guessing even our listeners, they struggle with that because of the fast pace of our culture and this idea that we feel like we have to run, that we have to race, that we have to hurry, all of which we don't have to. I know you have a practice in your own home to kind of slow things down.
Yes, because I feel that. When I don't feel seen, so for my husband, when he comes home, all the kids hopping on him, they're still young, all the things. They want to be seen. And they can tell, well, especially if he has his phone out or if I do, he's not there, I'm not there. And they, so for us to think about, oh, we're so connected with our phones, right? And there's some real beauty there, but then there's some not so great stuff. So we have a phone basket, and I would say this is about 80% of the time. Rob walks in the door, we both put our phones in this basket, and it's there for a couple hours at night. We're with our kids before bedtime, present, practicing being fully there. And it's huge. I love it. It's not on there was a while where our cell phones were on the dinner table. The worst.
So have you experienced significant changes even in the dynamic and the health and the energy in your family based upon the transition from phones on the table to phones in the basket?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then we start having real conversations. I mean, they're little, their conversations are funny, but I was missing out on that. Or I'd say, excuse me, I need to take this. And after you look back, you're like, I really didn't need to take that call.
Okay, so I'm sitting here feeling incredibly guilty that I don't have a phone basket.
Get yourself one.
But one of the things that I have been trying to do is when I walk into a room and there is just one of my children in the room by themselves, I take that as a sign that this is a sacred moment. Now, you know this, but I have 9 children, and they range in a variety of age. Some are biological, some are adopted, but they're all our children. And our house is a hustle and bustle of energy. And so sometimes I'm walking through a room, and they have a couple kids playing Xbox, or you have a couple kids in this other room watching TV. I don't really see those as opportunities to be fully present, though maybe I could squeeze between them and actually join the game and so forth. I probably need to get better at that. But one of the practices that I have decided in advance, because it's not going to happen spontaneously, it's not going to happen naturally, is when I walk into a room and there is one child, I am going to pause, I'm going to sit down, and I'm probably going to say something like, how are you? Really? How was your day? One of my children, Jameson, who's 11, he will regularly say to me from the other room, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And I come around the corner and he's just tapping on the couch next to him. And he says this, would you just sit near me?
Oh.
Would you just sit near me? And I think what that is his heart cry for me to be fully present with my son. And it's amazing, to be fully present didn't require an hour. It didn't even require 5 minutes. I can achieve positive, amazing outcomes in being fully present, if I'm fully present, in 1 minute or less. Because I think we all feel it. And we have that moment when you can tell this person is listening, this person is here, this person is now, this person is present.
Yeah. And then they're fully seen. I love when I'm fully seen by someone. And like you were saying, like looking behind and they're thinking about something else. But that's where real connection happens.
Which is our greatest craving.
Like, that's what we want.
Our greatest craving in life is human connection.
Yep.
And we cannot be experiencing human connection unless we are fully known and unconditionally loved at the same time. But not only is that important, it's the stepping stones to getting to that place, to being in relationships where you're fully known and fully loved, begins with being fully present.
Yeah.
One of my adventures I've been trying to train myself to experience is when I begin a day to say to myself, ask the question, I wonder how many sacred encounters am I going to have with human beings today when I'm going to have the opportunity to be fully present. So when I'm out and about in the neighborhood and on the college campus and at the office and the various places and spaces where I find myself on any given week or any given day, is to be thinking about, who am I going to meet? And what is their story? You talk about being seen and being known. But behind every face is this story, and behind every name is this rich narrative. And yet I'll miss it if I'm in the past or if I'm in the present.
You talked about recently, were you moving one of your daughters in, and you were just saying hi to people who were outside on the sidewalk, and people weren't used to.
That's right. That's
right.
So,
having interaction in the moment.
So my daughter and my son-in-law, they purchased their first home. We went to help them move in, and so I had probably 3 blocks away parked my vehicle and was bringing things back and forth to the house, and there was a lot of traffic in this downtown area. And so I make it my personal policy that whenever I pass a human being, I want to say good morning or good afternoon or hello. And the look on their faces are just like, what's going on? But it was a moment. It was a thing that we talked about. It was being fully present. Here's a promise I want to make to those who might be listening in, that your future will be brighter if you can fully stay in the present tense. Because we all want bright futures. We all want happy endings. End of the life stories that are amazing. But if we're rushing ahead of this moment, if we're rushing ahead of this day, or even this hour, we're going to miss it. And our futures will not be bright. Amy, it was a pleasure being with you today. And I'll remind all of us, be fully present.